Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God! Chubs Gone Wild!
Well, hello! It's February. Welcome to February. It is Chubs Gone Wild, episode 529, recorded on February, because I spelled it wrong. February 5th, 2024. Yes, that is the correct date. It is currently 60 degrees and rainy. Well, not exactly, but chances may be that it will be later outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios, where it is 9 days till Valentine's Day, 269 days till Halloween, and a mere 324 days until Christmas. Tom, how did you enjoy those wins?
They were fine. It blew up my tarp like 4 times, but I got it back on. Unfortunately, it wasn't pouring when the tarp was being blown. So otherwise, I brought in a wind chime.
Oh, we didn't. It's all tangled up now outside, but yeah, we had the neighbor's fence right next to our car completely blow down on one side. We had our political sign in the front yard blow down. Thankfully, a neighbor kind of saved it for us and put it back. And then we had what was the other big damage? I don't know, but Ouija had blown down fences and
And aren't his fences pretty new?
yeah, that's why I was like, really? How did that blow down? Y'all like cemented those suckers in, but yeah. So he
Well,
had
I
that.
I can tell you from last year during the New Year's Eve
Ugh,
storm,
those were horrible.
I had a new fence that was put in last year, but remember before the winds, we had a lot of rain right before that. I mean, we were
Hmm.
saturated at that point.
Yeah.
And the winds came and they didn't blow down the fence, but it now leans like this. Just about this. Just so now the wind kind of glides off it. It goes, whoosh, right off it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I went and looked just to make sure if it had moved even further over, but it looks about the same.
I'm surprised ours has lasted as long as it has out here, but yeah, thankful. And then Mr. Ouija also had chairs and trash in his pool,
Oh,
and
that's with any wind though.
yeah.
Any wind, and you get every neighbor's
Ah,
leaves, and you're like going, how do we have trash in our pool? How
yeah.
is there trash in the pool? There's not trash in the backyard. So I mean, I had a tree that's in the neighbor's backyard with branches in my front yard. I
Mm,
mean, little branches, but still, how the hell did they get over there?
right. That's crazy. Uh, yeah. So we didn't, receive damage that like the tornado country does, but we certainly got some stuff going on because of it. But thankfully, we were one of the few people whose power didn't go out, and
Mhm.
there's some people's power that is still out.
Yeah,
So
I did my power blink twice, which meant that I had to wait for my Wi-Fi to reset.
yeah.
But that was it. I didn't even have to change like the times on the stove, or the ones that don't change automatically.
Right.
I didn't have to change those. But the Wi-Fi shut down.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
I need that thing on a generator that kicks on
I
before the,
was gonna say I'm surprised that you don't have like some sort of like backup generator for it to like your solar. So, oh, beautiful. Okay. Well, let's talk real quick about Patreon, which offers folks a way to support creators like us and receive awards not open to the general public, like special podcast videos, books, and more. Much, much more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Phoenix Dave, Brother Sinatus, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose Pete. Please consider becoming a patron of the show for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/Matt Burlingame. Are you cold, sir?
No, no.
Are you cold? Well, good. Uh, if you're not watching the video, Tom's doing weird things, weird things.
Well, you know what I noticed with I was wearing one of my old t-shirts with a higher collar. I
Huh?
mean, not a higher collar, but a thicker collar, and it kind of stands up.
Yeah.
And I noticed that all it does is cut off my neck. It makes my neck look shorter.
Okay. Yeah.
Where, you're wearing, is that
Well, it's a round shirt,
it
but
is.
it's loose from the old days. So
Yeah,
it's
so
down like a
see,
V-neck.
yeah, when it looks like, because V-necks are great because they do extend the look of your neck.
Which
They
I
give,
do
or
have.
they give you a neck where I don't have,
Yes.
I never did.
Oh.
Yeah, my shaving line, to where between my neck and my chest, or my chin and my chest, is about this big.
Oh.
I know. That's my whole neck. Did you
Okay.
did you know that they have shots? Did I tell you about the shots you can get that they put in your neck area? And what it does is it makes the fat go somewhere else.
No, I
Oh,
haven't heard of that.
and so you have a thin neck. It may be a little droopy, but it won't be
Yeah.
vagina-y.
No, I've heard of Kybella.
Maybe
Um,
that's Lebanon. Wait, what is that? The labia-y, labia-y.
the labia. Those are the yes, we won't
Skin
leave
that comes
those
out of
in
out
respect
of
for
the
our women listeners, but
yeah
uh
yeah.
yes. The
It's like an
just go to the
RBC.
video and look at Tom, because he thinks it's there. It's really not as apparent as he thinks that it is, but we all see ourselves differently. You know how I see myself? In pain. Okay. So, but yeah, so that's our patron. So one of the things that, since we're kind of on businessy stuff at the moment, before we jump into the full show, we are working on not having any show interruption. However, our hosting decided to, well, basically reduce our level from our gigabytes that were, where we just had all three or four of our, well, three of our podcasts, right, all the episodes for years and years and years, and say, well, no, we're going to reduce your hosting down to a quarter of what it was. So that means that we have
Quitting the show?
to no, you should be
Oh,
so. No, but we are going to have to make a decision whether we are going to switch to a different service, which still means it'll be more than um, that it was costing us, or we will have to take down almost well, 75% of our back shows. So we will have to make that decision and figure it out. So because even I will say that even if we kept our current hosting, it is not worth the price. It is seriously ridiculous. The price jumped up over 150%. So it's just not worth it. Anyway, moving on. we will get that figured out. But just in case we may not post for a week, Tom has not gone back to Las Vegas. He's not in Hawaii. He's not in one of his many yearly trips. We're just dealing with some hosting issues, and we will be back forthwith. So, okay.
Okay, next time. Bye.
All right. Yeah. Or that will cut our shows down to like 10 minutes. So,
Oh, I'd like that. So
yeah, I bet you would.
you would like that too.
Just do your week, and there we go. Okay, so today's affirmation, take a moment, breathe, center yourself, and I see potential everywhere. I feel privileged to use my mind in any way I choose. I am blessed.
So is this your daily affirmation that you didn't announce?
I did announce it.
No, you just started talking.
No, well,
Okay.
maybe it cut out for you because of your spotty internet.
You know, I might just not be listening.
Well, there's that too. You do tend to nod off for those. But anyway, I think it's a beautiful affirmation this time. Just beautiful. All right, and breathe out. All right, well, today in history, on February 5th, 1994, white supremacist Byron D. LeBeckwith is convicted of the murder of African-American civil rights leader Medgar Evers. Over 30 years after the crime occurred. Evers was gunned down in a driveway of his Jackson, Mississippi home on June 12, 1963, while his wife, Marilee, and their their three small children were inside. And you can learn more about that if you want to go to history.com and look it up for February 5th. I have watched several movies and documentaries about that, and it was just freaking horrific. Anyway, let's get into finding out if we celebrated anything today, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So did you celebrate California Western Monarch Day?
No.
No. Okay. I don't know if that's a court thing or what. So, all right. Then we have Disaster Day. Did you celebrate that? I came freaking close.
No, my life's perfect.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, I like to hear that. I like to hear that for you. All right. How about move Hollywood to Broadway? Move Hollywood and Broadway to Lebanon, Pennsylvania. A word apparently I've never spoken before. Lebanon, Pennsylvania Day.
Okay.
I
Did not celebrate.
Why? Why? That's just okay. I guess the people of the Lebanon, Pennsylvania are just really passionate about that.
Are they hungry for entertainment? Do they have the facilities? Like, do they have like 30 playhouses that house at least 1,000 people?
Or big hotels that can host,
Yeah, all those people to stay in. Well, actually, I
big
guess
celebrities.
I'm not sure what is the seat requirement for Broadway.
I know smaller houses are still 49, but past that, I don't know. I don't know.
But I think it's under 100 seats is off Broadway. But
Right. Okay.
but maybe it's 500 or more. I don't know. But I don't think Lebanon, Pennsylvania has that kind of
Probably
housing
not.
or
Yeah, I
yeah.
think their infrastructure is probably a little weak for that, but hey. All right. National Chocolate Fondue Day. Now that sounds fun. I've never had chocolate fondue.
It's gross.
Well, I kind of am thinking that, but like when I see those chocolate fountains, I'm like, ooh, that looks really interesting. And then you just kind of think about it, you're like, it's probably just like the Palmer chocolate.
It's not good chocolate.
Yeah. So All right, National Shower with a Friend Day. Oh, we can celebrate that together.
In what shower?
Yeah, that's a good question. Although, with all the weight loss that you've experienced, it might.
I sat in the back seat of a very small car with you. I'm not getting back into a tight space with you ever again. And I'm not saying it was you. It was me as well. But I just think it's a bad mix. Being, this far apart while we record is actually giving me some elbow space. So that's good.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, that ride, you know what? That ride would have been fine, except for you could not get yourself comfortable. And we had a driver who was just an absolute bitch the whole time, complained about everything at his, oh my gosh. And there was like no reason, no
Oh,
reason
don't
for it.
forget the air conditioning. We had to turn it off for a while.
Oh, yes,
It
during the
was
desert.
it was it September? Yeah, it was September.
Mhm.
August. Was it late August? It was
Uh,
late August, early
yeah.
September. So it was hot as fuck. And we had to turn off the air conditioner for like 2 hours,
Hmm. Not to
which,
mention, part of it was while we were going through the desert.
oh yeah, well, most of it was going through the desert, if I remember right.
Right. But
What a
uh,
nightmare.
yeah, that was a crazy day. But we did it all for the love of Pride 48. Hmm.
Well, once we got there, it was great. Actually, the drive home was fine too. It was just
Yeah.
that drive there that was sucked.
Yep. And had people just tightly wound. All right. It's also National Weather Person's Day and National or World Nutella Day. Sometimes I've had some candies that that was good in, but when I just bought the jar, well, no. But I'll tell you, that biscuit cookie, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They have a cookie butter. It's biscotte or something like that. It starts with a B. That is the most addicting, wonderful, yummy. Like that is like what you expect to eat when you are in heaven because it's
So
just so wonderful. Not that you've
it's
eaten
a
in heaven,
cookie.
but still.
It's a cookie.
Yeah, it's a cookie butter.
Okay, what does that
Um,
mean? Cookie butter. I mean, is it cookie butter? Is it like that you can use for frostings and stuff like that? That tastes
okay.
like it's butter that tastes like cookies?
I'm looking up the image so I can make, okay, it's called Biscoff, so I was right. It is cookie butter. It is the cookies, which you would know the cookie if you saw it. They're kind of long and they have Lotus written on it. Uh, and it is basically the cookie that they put inside, and then they have the cookie um part of it like crumbled up like nuts and peanut butter type thing. And let me tell you, that is just so amazing. And they have it in smooth and with the little uh, crunchy stuff in it. And
Yeah, it's a like peanut butter, but it's
yeah,
called okay.
cookie butter.
Yeah, but it comes in a jar too. You can just get it.
Yeah, yeah. I have gotten the jar twice before. And let me tell you, you need a little one. Otherwise, you're just you're gonna add 20 pounds to yourself because it's that good. So
uh,
put that on your list. If you've never tried it, you need to try it at least once.
Well, I've been seeing on these baking shows that they use cookie butter, but they don't say what it is.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know what
right.
it is. Okay.
That's what it is. It is yummy. Okie dokie.
Say Lotus.
Lotus, yes.
The why? Why does it say
That's
Lotus?
that's like the company brand Lotus, and then Biscoff
Oh,
is the brand of the
got it.
cookie.
Okay, so it's Lotus Biscoff cookie butter.
Yes,
It's way too confusing.
I know. No, I bought it twice and I still don't remember the name of it. It's kind of.
Wait, you ate the whole thing?
Oh fuck yeah. Well, no, I mean I did share it, but I came damn close. That was one of those things where you're just like, hmm. I'm at the counter waiting for the microwave to finish. Oh, look, there's some cookie butter. I'll just have a spoonful or 10.
Wait, it's good. I mean, it's okay for diabetics.
Thank you for throwing that out there. And
Well,
no,
no, I'm
I'm sure it's
asking.
not, but
Oh, okay.
let
Because I
me
thought
tell
maybe
you, it was worth, worth
it
it.
wasn't.
Thanks for the shame.
Well, somebody had to.
Uh-huh. There you go. I have Nephi for that.
Yay, Nephi.
Uh-huh. So, all right, moving on. Now that you've just completely ruined my day.
That's all I
Time
can
for
do.
birthdays. So let's get happy and celebrate birthdays. If it'll pop up. Okay. Happy birthday to Indica. You like to celebrate Indica, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Hmm. Also to Morgan, Melissa, Carissa, one of our favorite stagehands. Oh, uh, I'm sorry. Happy birthday to Lawrence,
Oh, your ex?
my ex. I don't think so, girl.
Oh, I thought you two were fucking for a while.
Oh, no, that would be our other friend who our other friends spread rumors of that about. Yep. He's, by the way, our friend who was lied about with that, still bitter about it. Still very, very bitter about it. I learned
Wait,
not to bring it up.
oh, is that our friend who had stuff in their pool?
Yeah, I'm not saying, but yeah, very, very bitter about it.
Oh, see, I never heard that before.
Well,
Okay,
our other friend didn't. I
granted,
think.
I just assumed it, but I never heard that rumor before.
Well, there was a rumor that was started by our other little friend, the little fastidious one that we used to do theater with. You know who I mean?
God, there's so many.
Yeah. Well, we loved his little dog.
Okay, yes, yes.
Anyway, so he decided to start that rumor thinking it was very funny. Well, that rumor took off amongst the theater crowd. And let's just say that our other friend who the rumor was about, not happy. Not happy at all.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, oh, moving on. Writer Kel Munker, who did many of our shows,
Well, reviewed many of our shows.
reviewed them,
And
yes.
yes,
And
I wished her happy birthday this morning.
me too. She's very cool. Um, let's see. Okay, those are old birthdays, and then we have upcoming birthdays. Happy birthday to Susan, Michael, Mike, friend of the show, Mr. Mike. And then we have, oh, not Mr. Mike, because that's a different person. All these handles you have to just, anyway. But to Mike. Also to Jose and Kevin, Sebastian, Jennifer, Mr. Larry Queen. He's Trick Brain podcast, Q Sledge, Big Pride 48er. Also,
Good to see a big 48er like we're big 48ers.
let's just say he is a Chubs Gone Wild, I think.
Okay.
I haven't seen
Okay.
him in a long time, but he's really fun. He came down to visit once, and I mean, on top of seeing him at, Pride 48, he came down and hung out with us for a weekend once, and just very, very fun. He's a TJ Zombie Girl's roommate. So, and and he also just got to throw this out there because it was so cool. He makes quilts, and he made me a quilt, the big one on my wall, the red one that goes
And
into
the blue
blue.
one?
Yes, he
Oh,
made that and sent it to me as a gift.
yeah.
Beautiful.
I certainly wouldn't have minded to be on that gift list as well. It was
Right.
gorgeous.
I was really surprised, but I tell you, it's beautiful. Also, Empress Unique Chanel, her birthday is coming up. And Faye, Richard, Deanna, Koji, Stephen, Thomas,
Yeah.
Guy,
Oh, sorry.
Jesus, Loza Philippe. That's a cool name. And also Shy. Cheyenne. So happy birthday to all of you. We're so excited. Is it your birthday? All right, it's time for feedback. And Sean writes in and says, I'm in my late 40s and consider myself fairly tech savvy, but I often have to look things up too. And yes, YouTube is great for that. That was, of course, referring to our last advice column. So I agree. And YouTube is a wonderful place for looking things up. My mom and I have ordered from Temu in the past. Well, she still does. We get those every once in a while. But when they send things that are, well, things, period, sometimes they do not come, well, most of the time they do not come with instructions. And if they do, it's a tiny little thing that's usually in a very foreign language that we have to go to YouTube and try to figure out how to use it. So been there, done that. All right, well, we want to send some chub hugs out, and we want to start with everyone who sent me well wishes and checked in on me, and that includes you, because you checked in on me every day to see how I was, and also to my mother, who was a big help this last week as I went through some sciatic nerve pinch, back pain, hell. So anyway, and you did too.
Was it the right or left leg?
Left.
Okay, see, mine's always the right.
Hmm.
It's because I sleep on that side for most of the night.
Yeah, I do as well. Usually I'm on my back, but if I'm not, I'm on this side, my left side.
Oh,
So
it's because that's the side you get off the bed.
yes, and it's also the sign that I lay on before I go to sleep. I'm playing on my tablet and watching TV. I'm laying on that side.
And so I don't know how it happens, but it happens to me every once in a while. And I think it's when I really get a good night's sleep and I don't move around that much and I don't have to get up to go to the bathroom. So I stay in one position for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And boy, there's nothing like that pain,
Oh yeah.
especially when you don't think you can actually stand up.
Yeah, and not stand up. And for me, I couldn't lay down. I couldn't. But we'll get to that in my week. But yeah, that's a bitch.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Do you have any chub hugs you'd like to send out?
Well, first of all, send out, I mean, I'm going to make it very local, but all the people locally who were without power for
Mm,
for almost 24 hours without power.
yeah.
Others, it was just, no, 10, and I mean, like I said, I had two blinks and that's all I had. But
Mm,
I know people, like our friend Rich, who was out, he had minimal power for most of the night, most of the day. And I don't know when it actually came back on. He was just worried that he was gonna, he's just gonna have to go to bed because it was too cold, to
yeah.
sit. Um, and I saw a lot of that where people were saying that they're watching their tablet, they downloaded something on their tablet so they were able to watch it, but they're shivering under covers.
Mhm.
And then I heard somebody else say that they're now soaking up all the water from their ice maker that defrosted on them.
Ah, yikes.
I never thought about that. I'm glad that they mentioned that. So if the lights go out, I can at least start removing the ice from the freezer, put it in bags at least, and then put it with the food.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's I didn't think about that. I always think, if it's multiple days, the food in the refrigerator might go bad. But I keep forgetting about the freezer. Freezer, that's a tough one. I need a generator.
That would be pretty good. I remember our friend Lawrence, for those well podcasters, Larry Dean, when he first moved out here and lived up in the hills, he had they have snow basically, and the snow would knock out the electricity and the internet all the time, because I mean they got like snow, big snow.
Yeah.
So he had to get a generator, and it was a pretty penny, but it was worth it when he had to work from home.
And the thing is, up there, because my dad had a couple cabins up there,
Mhm.
and if you live in town,
Mhm.
it gets pretty, even after the snow, they do plow the all the streets in town, and it's a very small town when we're talking in town. So if
Mhm.
you live a little remote from downtown, you might not have your streets cleared, and definitely
Right.
not your driveway if you have a far back driveway. And even though this is only 4,000 feet is where Pollock Pines is, it gets a good dust, not a dusting. It gets a lot of snow every year,
Yeah.
and when they do get it, they get a lot. And so but it'll melt in a few, maybe a week or so, but you
Huh.
could be trapped in your fucking house with no electricity and no way to get out.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not fun.
Because I mean, I remember when we were in Colfax back in like 81, that era, when we got snow, there was one year we got like 3 feet of snow, and we were up the road, around the road, up a hill, and there were like three houses there, and then a few that were spread out like a mile or two away, and then 7 mile walk into town. And we had to do that several times to get my grandmother prescriptions. And let me tell you, that whole, when people are talking about, oh, when I was a kid, I had to walk uphill both ways in the snow, blah, blah, blah. Like, I did that twice, and fuck that. I would never, I do not want to live in this big snowy area.
Well, and not to, it's not like it's just a 7 mile walk. It's trudging through snow.
And
you know,
yeah,
but
like
people
two,
forget it's hard. It's very
yeah,
hard to do.
like
Everything's wet.
yep, like 2 feet of snow at least, if not more, when you're a kid, when you're like 10 years old in big old wellies. So you got your rubber boots on, and you're just trying to get ahead, and nobody's plowing shit. So it was just crazy. But my mom and I did it. So
Well,
all
at
right.
least, yeah. I mean,
But
I know at least when we were in Pollock Pines, we always got plowed.
well, anyway, yeah. Okay, celebrity news. King Charles III was diagnosed with form of cancer and is undergoing treatment, Buckingham Palace has announced. During the King's recent hospital procedure for benign prostate enlargement, a separate issue of concern was noted. So they have subsequent diagnostic tests have identified a form of cancer, but we don't know what yet or to what extent, et cetera, et cetera. So, and being the king, he probably has some decent health insurance.
It's good to be the king.
Well, I don't know. Some kings need to be smacked on top of the head, regardless of the time they're being king. But wouldn't be for me though, because I respect the crown. I've seen those episodes. Yeah. All right. Some top stars in Hollywood are among those calling for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the body behind the Academy Awards, to immediately add Jews to the organization's inclusion and diversity standards, and are criticizing the group for the oversight. Actors including Tiffany Haddish, Josh Gad, David Schwimmer, Deborah Messing, Emmanuel Shodi, Krikui, correct? Jennifer Goldwyn, Eliza Schlesinger. We have Juliana Margulies and Mayim Bialik are among those.
That's like you've never said those names before.
I have not said Emmanuel's name. I don't even know who
I
she is.
know, but you said David
Schlesinger. I was getting back on track.
Schwimmer, like question
Schwimmer.
mark, like you don't know David Schwimmer, and then
You
how
know,
about Ma'am
I
Bialik?
didn't say that. I
Yes,
said
you
her
did.
name just
You
fine.
were you were
Maya
sounding it
Bialik.
out. Oh my God. Go ahead.
You know what? I am on muscle relaxers right now. You just
Well, they're among the 300 Hollywood figures who have signed an open letter to the Academy this week demanding that Jews be recognized as an underrepresented group. And I'm like, gosh, there's an awful lot of Jewish people in the organization. Maybe are they talking about the internal organization?
I think they're just talking about their new didn't they just implement the what is it, the diversity standards?
Oh, yeah, so all they're asking for is that
Jewish
Jewish.
people be added to that.
Okay. Mm, okay.
Well, to be honest, the thought that you just had kind of crossed my mind too. I was like, really? But you know what? Maybe there's something we just don't know.
Oh no, that's right. There may be something we don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's I don't know. It's
But I
just
don't see anything wrong with it,
no, no. I mean, go
especially
ahead.
with all the stuff
Get in
going on
there.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, tell us about Darius.
Well, Darius Rucker has been arrested for a minor drug offense in Tennessee. Now, you got to remember that different states have different laws
Right.
for possession. So let's see. Let's see what he had.
Mhm.
Rucker was booked on three separate charges, including simple possession, casual exchange of a controlled substance, and times two, and one count of a violation of registration law. Okay.
Yeah.
All misdemeanors. He was released on bail and is fully cooperating with the authorities. Before entering the world as a country music star, Rucker was the frontman for Hootie and the Blowfish.
I
And
really like that group.
well, I really like him as a solo act too. He's really
Yeah.
good. Um, but then and I'm sure I guarantee you this controlled substance is probably weed.
Yeah.
And controlled substance casual exchange, meaning here you want to smoke some of my blunt,
Right. That's what I'm thinking too.
or
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
probably his ID has expired or something.
It's something
Yeah.
silly and ridiculous is what this sounds like.
Yeah. It's Tennessee, so of course it's
Yeah,
gonna
that's of
and
course the thing, but
yeah,
that's Nashville.
right.
So it's
Uh,
always shocking. It's always shocking because they've got Nashville, they've got Memphis, they've got
mhm.
a lot of big cities
They've
there.
got Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
Yeah. But she's like the most gay friendly, like, oh, you can do whatever you want as long as you're doing good stuff. And there you go.
sure.
All right. Well, let's move on to deaths, starting with Carl Weathers, the actor known for roles in Rocky, Predator, and The Mandalorian. He died at age 76 on February 1st. Beloved, oh, this is so sad. Broadway icon and Tony-winning actress Chita Rivera died at age 20 or 21,
21. Okay.
91. 91. Yes. She just, I saw a lot of love being given for her
Well,
on.
especially considering she died, I believe wasn't it on Friday? It was just a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, and the thing is, who was it? Somebody said, I'm trying to remember. They said if you die on a Friday, make sure your publicist doesn't say anything till Monday because it'll be lost over the weekend and no one will know it happened.
Huh. That's
because
interesting.
because most people, I mean, a lot of people don't watch the news at all, but in the old days they didn't watch the news on the weekends, and there wasn't the same kind of news on the weekends that we have now. And so
Right.
you could seriously, by the time Monday rolled around, it was yesterday's news and nobody was talking about it. So if they talk about you on Friday and Saturday and Sunday and everyone's shocked, and you've done really well for yourself.
Right. Well, also that's one of the reasons that they do when like the Supreme Court releases shit, usually they release the crap ones on Friday. Or if the president's gonna say something really horrible or something, they do
Yes.
it on Friday. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Isabella Thomas, the wife of Killers of the Flower Moon producer Bradley Thomas, died by suicide in Los Angeles on the 29th. She was only 39 years old. Gary Graham, best known for his role in Star Trek Enterprise, died at 73 on January 22nd. And I was really surprised that I didn't hear more about that, but he was quite a big Star Trek person, but unfortunately he was also one of those that went off the deep end into conservative craziness. So let's see. We have Dexter Scott King, the youngest son of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. He died at 62 on the 22nd. Don Murray, who received an Oscar award for his role in Bus Stop, died at
Nomination.
94. What's that?
Nominated. He was nominated, not award.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He was a
Nominated.
big actor. He was a big actor, especially through the 70s and 80s, or 60s and 70s. He did a lot of guest roles.
Okay, yeah, I kept thinking I knew the name, but I didn't remember him from Bus Stop. And then I had to remember if I actually watched Bus Stop. Weird. Anyway, Wayne Kramer, the guitarist who co-founded the proto-punk rock band MC5, died on the 2nd at age 75 from pancreatic cancer. Mark Gustafson, the award-winning co-director of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, died on the 1st. Hinton Battle, the 3-time Tony Award-winning actor who originated the role of the Scarecrow in The Wiz on Broadway, died on the 29th at 67.
I didn't even hear about that.
I didn't either until now. Well, when I pulled the information.
Yeah.
Sandra Milo, the Italian actress best known for appearing in Federico Fellini's autobiographical classic 8½, died on the 29th at age 90.
Ooh, what do you think 8½" meant?
Oh, well, kind of wondered myself, if you know what I mean, but because it was autobiographical.
And he is he's very popular. So
Yes, but you got to be popular for something, because for me it wasn't really his movies.
I know it's all about popular. You want to be popular.
Popular. I listened to that just the other day.
Oh, your second
Uh,
favorite musical?
what's that?
Your second favorite musical?
Yes. Yeah. Although it is so close to being like number one, but yeah, the other
The
acts.
problem with Jesus Christ Superstar is there's not enough songs where people aren't just yelling out loud music, and there's too much music being played behind it, and it's
Well, and also
screaming.
Wicked is a comfort show. And JCS, it's all in minor, almost all in minor key, which is kind of off-putting in a way. But I mean, it's really the lyrics especially are just really well done.
Oh, that reminds me. I saw a show on Sondheim, because I looked up something on Sondheim on YouTube, and now they're vomiting on me. But this one was about how he, in Into the Woods. You've seen Into the Woods, right?
Yes.
Okay. The song on the steps of the palace. That's Cinderella song. After the prince puts the tar on the steps of the palace and she
Yeah.
loses a shoe. So, and they were explaining that steps on the palace, steps are also a thing in music, da 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 steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it shows how through most of the music in Into the Woods, they're using that step pattern that they use in on the steps of the palace. Also, she says she stepped on the pitch that the prince left, and of course they have to put pitch down to kill the giant at the end of the show, and of course pitch is a term for music, and in her song she actually says, I don't need a wide range, but actually you do need a wide range to sing on the steps of the palace. So and there were more things in there, and I'm thinking Sondheim was not only a genius, but he was a nut.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's I mean, I can see
Wow.
putting Easter eggs out there, but oh my God. Oh my
That's
God.
that's a lot.
Yeah, it was. And they said that he did that in a lot of things, but they were just using Into the Woods as the example, that song and Into the Woods as an example, because they said that during the three songs in the show where the uh, where the character has learned something. Little Red Riding Hood learns that you shouldn't go into the woods by yourself. Jack learns that you shouldn't take from the you got to be careful for the giants.
Mhm.
And then Cinderella learns that what she learns. And so and all of the songs use the same steps in it as well. I mean, they even
Huh.
showed the three songs and showed you the music and how it affected all three songs. And they said, but it's also used throughout the show. But those three specifically are examples of him doing it, and it was quite crazy. And then I
Wow.
just saw one on Sondheim. Why does Sondheim not have a hit? Did you know he never had a show that played more than 1,000 performances?
What? No.
Never. And most of his shows actually didn't last very long at all. Passion was the only the musical that played the fewest performances, which was Sondheim's. Into what was it? Form came the closest with nearly it was 900 and something performances on Broadway, but
Huh.
nobody, no run of the show ever. I mean, even Company. Huge hit.
Wow.
That only ran a couple of years. And of course, I think it's about 4 years to get 1,000 performances because they do 8 performances a week.
Huh. No, I
So
had no idea. I just thought it was like Cats, and some of his shows had to have run forever.
right, exactly. I would have thought Into the Woods, Sweeney Todd, in the Sunday in the Park with George. One of those should have. And
Yeah, especially
he had,
Sweeney Todd.
yeah, and he actually had a couple shows that never went to Broadway. So
Hmm.
even stranger, so there
Yeah.
you go. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Well, actually, I was gonna say, you learn all sorts of things about. I learned about a director who. What's okay? Um, it's the pupil and the teacher, and the teacher decides that he's going to make the pupil into something, but it's not the musical. It's not.
My Fair Lady.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's the Americanized kind of version of that, where it's not like just this rich person, it's a teacher. It's like it taken off. It's like lessons of, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it'll come
Can
back
you
to
give
me.
me an actor? Any actors? Is there a song? Is there a song
No, I
from it?
saw the stage play of it. Uh,
Oh, okay.
but it's, you would know it in a heartbeat if you remember.
Masterclass?
What's that? No,
Masterclass? Okay.
no. Anyway, it was one of those things where I was watching the afters where they were talking about it, and they were talking about how the the staging was done so that when the whoever had the power was on one side of the stage, and then the other person, of course, with the lesser power would be on the other side of the stage. And by the end of it, you see how the power, from as he teaches the student, and the student becomes better than him, basically. uh they ended up kind of flipping roles, and the power position was always over on one side of the stage. And I thought that was so interesting that I did that with a couple of my plays, and it played really well. It's a very almost subliminal thing, but still very interesting. Just anyway, I'm sure we're probably boring our non-theater people with this.
Well, I know you're boring me, so
Oh,
I'm sure
knock
you're
it off.
boring them.
You
So
love it. Um, God, you would know that, it's so popular, and I can't remember the name of it.
Wicked? You said popular.
Yeah,
No?
popular. All right, but now, while I'm trying to remember the name of that, liaisons? No. Tom wants to talk to you about.
Dangerous Liaisons? That's not
No,
this,
that's not it. I
but that was a teaching somebody, or no, it was trying to trap somebody and to do something bad, right?
It'll come to me.
Okay, now I finished Echo, so we can talk about that when we come up to what we
Okay,
both.
awesome.
Um, and let's see. Now, have you seen the end of Percy?
No, that was one of the ones I was supposed to watch this morning.
Oh, your failure. Okay,
I know, but I hear it's wonderful.
I finished Real O'Neill's, uh,
Oh,
both seasons, 26 episodes, and
yeah,
I mean they knew as they finished season two that they weren't coming back.
right.
I mean, because they tied everything up real nicely,
Mhm.
and that was, yeah, but it was still sad. RuPaul's Drag Race this week, they did the girl groups episode, well, contest, which they do every year, and and so uh, what ended up happening is, for those who are, well, a mandatory meeting ends up um, leaving, getting sent home. First of all, she her acting, not her acting, but her girl group part was really good. She was one of the better dancers, and her performance was really good. They didn't like her costume, and so they put her in the bottom, and I was really shocked. And then when they did the lip sync for her life, they sent her home instead of the other girl who was not even close to being as good. And I'm curious to find out why. I can't figure out why. I know Rue doesn't like the fact that she's not um as refined as the other girls as far as queens go, but she was still good. She was still good. She was still funny, and I thought she was super talented. I was really disappointed to see her go. So I'm looking forward to watching Pit Stop and finding out what the queens that are watching, for the reaction show, to
Mhm.
see what they thought about it. Because usually they go, "So what did you think about the who they sent home?" And they're always like, "Oh yeah, that was spot on. I think it was their time." So we'll see. Um, Bachelor, and you watched The Bachelor. We'll talk about that. Um, Trader on Peacock. They sent the first Trader home after
Mhm.
about 6 episodes. So they it's been a while,
Huh.
and they sent the first Trader home, and it was Dan from Big Brother. Um, and it was weird because when the faithful is what they call the people who aren't traders, when they get an idea in their head, they go for it. So I mean, the first group of people that they sent home were all faithful, but they get a hair up their ass and then they just focus on one person. Fortunately, this time it was the right person, but weird. Let's see. Now you're all done with Queer Eye, but I've only gotten
I
to.
am one episode away from.
Oh, okay. I finished with the one with the deaf guy. Are you going to be talking about that?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'll wait on that. Damn it. Okay.
Ah,
Oh, by the way, have you paid $2.99 more for your Prime membership?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Why? What's there to watch on there?
On Prime,
Yeah.
I watch a lot of shows on Prime actually,
What?
and
What do
so
you?
does my mom. So
Okay, well, if she does, that's cool, but I refused. I only watch one show right now, and that is I'm still watching Good Omens. I think I have 2 episodes left.
yay! Of like both seasons or the first season.
Both. Already seen the first.
Awesome. Okay.
Um, and and the commercials were like, they were like the old YouTube commercials, where they're like 15 seconds and they're more irritating than they are instructive or
Uh-huh.
informational. And it's like uh, the first couple times I'm like, what is going on? What is this? I don't understand what this point is. Oh, it's a commercial. Oh, okay. That's a commercial. Who knew? Okay, right. But yeah, both Sean and I are like, fuck them. And I'm like, maybe when the boys come up, I'll pay $2.99 or you get something on here, but I'm not watching anything. So fuck them.
Yeah.
Uh, we're also watching True Detective. We are keeping caught up on that one. Have you watched that at all with Jodie Foster?
Nope.
Okay, it's on Max and it's very, very good. It's Jodie Foster plays a sheriff in a town that's very close to, I guess, the North Pole. It's up there in the upper regions of Alaska, where they don't get any sun for 30, I think it's 30, 31 days where they get no sun at all.
Wow.
And on the first day, they find out that a group of scientists that have a place there that they, the lab, they've all disappeared. And they've got to find out why they've all disappeared, where they've gone to. um like when the first person got there that found the place empty, when he got there, there were still things that were steaming, like it had just happened, like
Hmm.
food was still steaming, or it was a
Wow.
drink like coffee or something. And their phones were all there, and all their luggage was there. It's not like they left. They were just missing. So and then you find out more, and it gets pretty mystical and interesting as it goes on.
Hmm.
Uh, let's see. Oh, the new Masters of the Universe, which Brian tells me is like another season of the Kevin Smith one. He says it's part of it. I'll believe him, but it does say it's 2024. And oh, we got 10 minutes into it. And Sean goes, I can't watch this. Just turn it off. Just turn it off. So,
Okay.
so be warned. The
Okay.
floor. Are you keeping up with the floor?
No.
Floor. The floor.
Yeah. I
Um,
might go pick it up again, but no.
Yeah, I'm watching it, but it's just like, oh my God, this takes for fucking ever.
Uh-huh.
I think they lose 8 people a night. And so they've got to go at least 10 episodes to, get down to the last person. It's
Well,
it's
and
ex
that would be fine with me if they weren't so fucking. I don't want to hear everybody's backstory and focus 5 minutes on somebody so they can lose in 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Um, New show started out on this is Hulu. It's Chrissy and Dave Dine Out. So this is Chrissy Teigen, and I think his name is Dave Chan,
Hmm.
Chan, something like that. He's a uh, uh, chef, celebrity chef. And so while she's running the dinner, or the dinner conversation with friends, the first episode, they had Jimmy Kimmel and his wife. He's in the back talking to the chef as well, and what they're sending out and stuff like that. It's an interesting show. It's short and cute.
Hmm.
um yeah, and I guess it's going to really depend on if they have who the guests are. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So second show, also done by Dave Chan, whatever his name is, called Super Hot. And this is a 4 episode documentary series following people who are into hot chilies. So,
Oh, I
um,
saw something about
yeah,
that. Okay.
they're called chili heads.
Yeah.
And so, what happens is, I mean, the first episode, we're meeting all these famous chili heads, and they're famous for different reasons, but most of them are part of like uh, chili eating contests. So
Okay.
where they're eating what's considered like the hottest chilies in the world, and they have to eat so many of them to win this contest. And after, when people, like, the way they usually get disqualified is when they start vomiting into a bucket. So a lot of people are vomiting into the bucket. But if you like the show, First We Feast over there on the hot wings thing on
Mhm.
YouTube, you're probably going to like this show because uh it doesn't have, so far, it's not celebrity driven at all. It's all crazy chili people. So it's
Huh.
it's it's kind of cute. So saw Broadway Bears. I'm not sure which year it was, but I saw it over on YouTube, and I was so bored with the first song, I just turned it off. It
Really?
was like, what? What's wrong?
Oh no, I'm just surprised because usually they're really good.
Yeah, it was just, it's stripping. It's just stripping numbers, and
Well, yeah, but usually, I mean, it is well coordinated and they have a good song, but I'm sorry to
I
hear
don't I just don't like strippers.
that. Oh, well, I know you're don't care for them. I'll just say that.
Yeah, so
I
it
mean,
was.
I like strippers. I just don't want to be in the same room where they're going to come up and try to
Oh no, that
lower.
I really hate. But no, I just like watching Magic Mike. It was tolerable because I knew who the characters were and I was rooting for the characters. But when it's just a bunch of guys stripping and and they're not my type, so that doesn't help either. I just put Broadway Bears yawn. Um, then it's another thing I found on YouTube, Phantom of the Paradise. Did you know that Winnipeg was one of the only places where Phantom of the Paradise was a huge hit?
No.
And I think they said that they sold over like it was 10 or 20,000 copies of the soundtrack have been purchased in Winnipeg.
Wow.
So it was just kind of interesting. And then I found oddly enough, I found a 40-year anniversary after interview with the cast and one of the crew members from Phantom of the Paradise, and it was hosted by Edgar Wright, the director from Shaun of the Dead and Hot
Mm.
Fuzz. Very talented. He was because he's a big fan of the movie as well, and it was interesting. It was really interesting. The girl Jessica Harper, she said that it was her first movie and it started her on the way of never being in a hit movie ever. All her
Huh.
movies were considered financial busts. And Edgar Wright goes, okay, well, okay, I understand what you're saying, but let's here's your filmology. And he lists off all these films, and people are like clapping because they're all these cult favorites that she's been in. And she goes, yeah, but you know, basically it would have been nice being, famous for being in a hit movie instead of being in a flop. So
Right.
uh still and it was very interesting listening to they had the editor there, they had two of the Juicy Fruits were there, they had the guy who played Beef, and Paul Williams was there. So it was really interesting.
Hmm.
Started a new show called Louder Milk. It's not a new show. Its third season's out, Netflix. But we just started watching it. We saw episode one.
Hmm.
Saw Nagasha Leggero this week at the Punchline here in town. She's been around for a while, but she recently, I guess, she hasn't been touring. She goes, I've been touring, so give me a break. And she was, I mean, I haven't seen such. I, she worked the room just so well. Everything was like it was secondhand. It was amazing. And she was funny and poignant. So yeah, we really enjoyed her. And then I saw two plays this week. I saw Hello Dolly with Bette Midler. Um,
Oh,
and it was fine. Bette was really good in it. It was just it was weird because the 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 staging is they're trying to make it really big and it's just it was weird. As much as I love Hello Dolly, it's one of my favorite musicals. I guess I forgot how boxy the staging is. It's you know it's like, okay, here comes put on your Sunday clothes, so we got to have the whole chorus and the swings and everybody out in beautiful costumes to walk around in a circle because it's not a dance song,
right.
it's not a song. And then even when they later on then they do while we're um when you're dancing. And so they have another dance number, but it's all waltzy and it's not, so it was a little bit on the slow side, I guess. I mean, if I was there in the audience, I would have been just enthralled. But since it was filmed, it was, you know, it's what it was.
Yeah.
And then I watched Assassins. Now this one was some uh kind of probably community theater, maybe a college performance of it, but I'd
Mm.
never seen Sondheim's Assassins, which is basically dealing with I guess there's like a narrator guy, but I think he's kind of like the devil because somebody is like going, "Oh, I feel so bad. I don't know what to do with myself, and I feel so unfulfilled. Hey, why don't you kill the president?" So it's all about. It starts off with Lincoln, and then goes to Garfield, and it goes to um, Harrison, and they talk about Kennedy and Reagan and Ford, and not all of them were successful, but uh so that's what it was. It's all these assassins singing about their motivation on why they wanted to kill the president. It was weird, very weird. But they had some really good voices in it, even though the one guy who was the narrator guy, he had a good voice, but it was I mean he sang like an angel, but there's a tone to his voice that I didn't like, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. So yeah, that was but it was I'm glad I got to see that because I'd never seen that before. Otherwise, the rest of my week has just been, you know, nothing,
Yeah, well,
you know.
it happens. At least there was
Yeah,
no drama.
no drama other than the storm. I mean, that was the biggest thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this week or beginning of next week, we're going to have a friend of ours, Brad, come to stay with us for a week. So looking
Mr.
forward to
Pitt?
that. Yeah, Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the shows that we watched in common. Except for
Hey,
the very last episode, I'm caught up on Percy Jackson and I'm loving it.
yeah. Yep.
Uh, so we'll talk about that when I can get the series finale in. Planning to do that this morning, but didn't happen.
Hang on.
Bachelor 28,
Right.
Joey, loving it, loving him. He's
Well,
adorable.
I thought it was a kind of a fun episode. I love the way um Evelyn jumped over the table in the musical chairs.
Yes, that was
That's so,
priceless.
because she didn't jump. The thing was, if you haven't seen the show, listeners, um, she tries to jump over the table, but just lands in the center of the table. And it looked painful and it looked ugly. And she didn't win. That was the first thing that was pretty terrible.
Yeah,
And then let's see, and then we found out that Daisy, who's the Christmas tree farm girl.
who I think is still one of the leads, except for her
Yes, I do
attitude.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, she had Lyme disease as a child and it left her deaf. And
yeah,
she since then got an implant to where she can hear again. And
mhm,
so that's got to be just amazing.
yes,
Uh, and then they went to boot camp, and they had a decent football game. And I put Edwina, it's got to be Edwina. I wouldn't have written that name down.
yeah.
She she falls face first in the football game trying to do something, and
Ah,
it was like, oh, that looks like it hurt.
yeah,
But it was good enough to get her a late night date with Joey, so that's good. And
yeah.
then the older sister of the two sisters that came to date Joey together, um, the older sister left the show, and I'm fine with that.
Yep, I am too. She was the one that threw down the cake, right?
Yes. Oh my God, wasn't that ridiculous?
You waste cake, you go home. That's my I'm down for that. But
Well,
no,
she was
she
already going home before she wasted
yeah,
cake, but that
I was
just it encouraged me to get her out of there faster.
I was just like, okay, is she an actress who is doing that to, get her part? And they're like, okay, we just need some drama to stir things up, do something.
Well,
Or,
they started the episode with her and the cake,
yeah,
which I thought, okay, they're being very direct on what they're
where
pushing
they're
here.
going with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yep. But I was fine. I was like, because I mean, okay, you can understand like having a few moments of sadness over her father dying 7 months ago. I'm like, I can understand that it hits you kind of weird sometimes when you're not expecting it, and you're in a wedding dress on a show. You're everything is hyped up. So okay, you have a moment. But really, it affects you so dramatically that everything is fucked up. You won't talk to him, and then you're like, I don't want to see him. I don't. She totally wrong for the show. She needed to go home anyway. Bye bye.
Yeah, and if her dad died, didn't the other girl's dad die too?
Well, yeah, her sister. Yeah, but her
Yes.
sister's just there. If that was her sister, I can't keep track of some of these. Some of these women look so much alike. And like that thin blonde woman who got the last rose, the one that started the shit, I was just like, who the hell is she? Where did she come from? Because,
Yeah.
out of 30 women, they have a new one pop up that they start focusing on. I'm like, I don't remember her from anywhere. Was she there? Did you just bring her in? Is she a sub? But yeah, I still like Daisy, and I like the black woman who came from originally Nigeria. I think she's pretty cool. And there was the one that they started the shit over with
Oh, the girl who said,
Maria. She,
okay.
she's pretty cool. She reminds me of friends that we used to hang out with in the theater. I really like her. But then it turned into some weird thing where they were trying to say, "Oh, she said that she's old like you are," and
Well,
she said
right.
this has to be the dumbest fight that there's ever been on here, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and it was that one girl who made it an issue, and
Yep.
all she had said was that she goes, well, she shouldn't feel bad about her age. Look, I'm a year younger than her. I'm older than most of the people that are here
Yeah,
too. It's no big deal. And then that went to, oh, she's bad mouthing you, and I'm like, what?
yeah.
What?
They just wanted to try to start shit over something so that she could go to Joey and be like, Maria's saying horrible things about how old I am. Kick her off the show.
No, and she wasn't even the one that went to him. It was the girl.
It was that blonde chick at the end.
Yeah, who
Like,
said,
who
"Oh,
is she?
she's stirring up shit and
Yeah.
talking bad about everybody." Yeah.
Yeah, there was one other girl on there that I think maybe she got a one-on-one with him or something. I thought she was really cool too. Anyway, who knows? But I do like Joey. I think he's pretty genuine. And he seems fun, and he's got really pretty eyes. So yay! I'm looking forward to seeing more. But that was dumb drama.
It was.
Not even like some of the other shows where, oh, remember Bachelor in Paradise, the one where they had that big argument over something so stupid. What was
Um,
it?
there's so many, it's hard to choose.
Flies, it was something like flies, or when something bites you, or I don't know.
Okay.
It was so dumb we forgot. Okay, moving on. Queer Eye. I'm one episode away from the end. You wanted to talk about the deaf
Educating Rita.
body. Hmm?
Educating Rita.
Yes. Did you see my note at the end? I looked it up, and
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I did.
oh, okay. But that was the one I was talking about, the theater
Right.
show. But
Right.
I was like, God, I have to know this anyway. So yeah, Queer Eye, the deaf cutie you wanted to talk about.
Well, you haven't talked about the rest of them. So, I mean,
Oh
you
my God, I've got to close my window because for some reason the dogs will not stop barking today.
it's weird. I don't hear them at all.
Well, I am very glad. Maybe quiet. Maybe it won't be on the recording, but I think that between the weather and the stuff that happened this morning, they're just all worked up. Oh, good thing I had a screen thing up so people couldn't see me limping along.
Oh, I saw it. You did focus a
Oh,
couple
it did
times.
for a little bit.
And you look like you're thinner.
Oh, that's got to be the roses around me because it was a fat few days here. All
Oh,
right.
no.
Okay, so Queer Eye, the whole thing is really good, and I I
Yeah, they're
cried at every episode, and all the people that they helped really needed it and really responded well. And I love the fact that it wasn't like in the past, and I may have said this in the last episode, but the older Queer Eye show really focused on we're gay, but we're just like you. Accept us and we'll help you. And we're your fairy people. To whereas this one, they they're just they are really helping people that need that help, and it's responding to them well. And the people that they're helping are, loving them and not being all like, having to, I never thought I'd let a gay guy touch me. I'm going to make a bunch of gay jokes so that people don't think that I'm gay on this show, even though it's Queer Eye for the straight guy. Um, anyway, it's a wonderful show. Absolutely wonderful. Although I still don't know why Anthony's there except being pretty.
ugh.
Well, and he's single now too.
Well, of course he is, because he's a whore.
Stop. They were never together.
You were,
Goodness.
he's a whore.
Yeah. Anyway,
By
I
the
like
way,
I like him for being a whore, but he is kind of a dingy little whore sometimes because some of the things that comes out of his mouth, I'm just like, oh, by the way, are you up to the reptile guy yet?
I'm to the deaf guy.
Okay, well, I don't know the order of the episodes, but he collected Kiss stuff.
Oh, he's the second one.
Okay, he was the second one. I would not, I was like, oh fuck no. Every time they started to show that reptile room, I was like, oh hell no, I'm out. Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay, well, how'd you feel when at the end it said his brother died?
I didn't see that part.
Oh, sometimes you have to watch at the very end to see if there's any extras. He
Yeah,
dies
well,
at filming, of
unfortunately, I was having some issues, so I didn't sit
course.
and watch the whole thing.
You watched it
Anyway,
last.
no, that's really sad. I'm sorry
Yeah.
to see that.
Well, no, I was kind of happy to see that for him because he had lost 40 years of his life serving, making sure his brother was comfortable.
Well,
And,
yeah, no,
and
I understand that, but
yeah,
at the same time, it's still like it
I
is,
get it. I mean, I know what you're saying, but I was just, I kind of, it kind of made me breathe a sigh of relief that because what's this guy going to do after they leave? He's still got to take care of his brother. I mean, they're
I
nice,
was thinking the same
nicer
thing.
bed and
Doesn't
stuff,
mean
but
that his life is gonna change that much.
it can't. And now
Yeah,
it can. And so that's what I found kind of refreshing. I mean, I'm sorry about his brother, but his brother had to be in his 60s,
and he wasn't able to do pretty much anything.
except
So,
eat hot dogs, which was
oh,
gross.
that was pretty cool.
And
But
then, and I'm sorry, but the deaf guy, uh, all they did was shave him and give him a haircut, and he looked fantastic.
yep, he
Uh,
did.
but then people need different things, so it's not
Exactly.
always a makeover show. And
Right. Because with him, I think that they needed to make him understand that he needs to pull back and take care of himself a little bit, but also that he needed the recognition that he's doing wonderful things. And I think sometimes that's part of it is these people are so hardworking and selfless that they're, neglecting themselves. And that's why the show is so popular. Anyway, but he was cutie. He was a little cutie. All right, moving on. Echo.
well, it really the last couple episodes really came into to play.
Yes.
They were very important to the show.
Mhm.
It's yeah, I didn't think it was going to be. I wasn't sure where we were going.
Mhm.
And then but the last couple episodes got really exciting, and I was looking forward to finishing it. And I thought it ended really well.
I did too. You could tell very clearly they were setting up for a season two, and I'm down if they'll do it. I'll watch it.
Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't go the way of Miss Hulk. So
Oh, that was really sad. Although honestly, they've lost any focus. Like every episode, they're like, okay, I think I know what we're gonna do now. And then the next episode, okay, no, 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 let's not do that. I think we're gonna know what we're gonna do now. But
Yeah, no, the thing was Miss Hulk was okay the first couple episodes, but then
yeah,
it didn't redeem itself at the end. I mean,
that's true too.
I
Yeah.
mean, it came to a conclusion,
Mhm.
but I mean, it didn't redeem itself to me to say, yeah, let's see more of this. I
Right, exactly. It was like, well, that was fun to see that character. But
yeah,
what's next?
yeah, we're done, right?
Yeah,
No,
I mean, but I would rather sit and watch another episode or another season of her than I would of one episode of Loki at this moment.
okay. Well, did I tell you
Yeah,
I never finished Loki part season two?
I did not finish season one. I watched 2 episodes of it and went,
I
ugh.
was trying to, we all know this. I was trying to give you some comfort saying that I didn't finish it either. So I agreed with
Oh,
you.
you didn't finish either.
That's
Okay.
what I just
Well,
said.
I'm
I didn't
comforted.
finish season two.
I'm comforted completely.
Oh, good. You should be.
Hmm.
Pain in the
So there
ass.
we go. All right. Speaking of comfort, I have not finished. This is another one. I was going to finish the last episode of Hell's Kitchen. You already have. I'm fine with you spoiling that one if you want to.
Um, uh, a guy wins.
A guy wins. Okay. Well, I hope that it was the guy that you wanted. But I'm fine with either one of them actually. But I just know that I'm sure that since Jonathan was one of the final 2, that he probably said his daughter's name 450 times. So
Well, those are the kind of things that work out for you. You know what I mean?
he's a good dad.
Yeah, well, but also it's like what was I just watching? I have so many reality shows, it's hard to remember which one was which. But they were going on, I love when they bring out the sad stories on why
Yep.
they deserve to win the money.
Yeah. Or oh,
Uh,
I started watching. I haven't said this, but I started watching the Holiday Baking Championship, and like every
it's fun
episode, I'm doing this for my grandmother. That's
for the
nice, huh?
your dog Rover.
For my grandmother.
Oh,
This was my grandmother's recipe. Ah! Like, uh, you guys have way different grandmothers than I did.
yeah, well, and but I mean, that's the whole thing on these shows, that if
Mhm.
you don't have a good backstory, uh, like you would have a better backstory than I would.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Probably, but
but you have more to complain about than I do.
okay.
And I mean, just and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I mean, the last thing you want on these shows is to go, no, I'm pretty happy with my life. I like where I've turned out. Oh,
Right, yeah.
the producers are going, okay, he's out.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
It's like, no, I have to be here to prove that I'm worthy. And
Yeah,
I respect that, but I'm just saying that that's one of the things that they want you to, if you don't have a great backstory, you have to do it to prove it to yourself that your life has been worth living.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what we got next? Oh, so Feud. Have you watched it?
No,
Okay, so Feud, Capote versus the Swans. I will encourage Tom to watch it. I was sucked
no,
into it within the first 30 minutes. What?
I will.
Okay, within the first 30 minutes, because it is one of those that nobody should have any spoilers for because it is just that good. I am going to just say that the cast is brilliant. The story is fun. And they brought Hunky, what's his name, back. He's in like pretty much any Ryan Murphy show these days. He
Evan
played
Johnson.
what?
Evan Johnson.
For all. Uh,
No,
um,
is that his name? It's the guy he played Lobster Boy and he played Dahmer and is that the guy you're talking about?
oh, no, no, that's uh yeah, he was in Glee, right?
No.
What? Okay.
I'll look it
Just-
up because you
Okay.
obviously
You
you're.
look it up, but no, it is the one who played the cop in
Oh,
the
Evan Peters.
I don't even know who that is, girl. No.
Okay. He does a lot of Ryan Murphy stuff. How about
Okay.
that?
Well, I'll probably know who he is. Anyway, but no, this one wasn't looking. Remember?
Are you talking Jeff oh, okay, you're talking the guy from Broadway.
Yeah, sure.
Jeffrey no, he always
No, we should be anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm not gonna bother looking him up right now because we'll
Jonathan Groff.
no. Although, yeah, no, it's the other one, the hunky one. The one that everybody's fucking crazy for.
Oh, okay. You're talking about where is he? Russell Tovey.
Yes. I don't know why I couldn't remember that name. Anyway, but he's in it, and wow, does he play a different character than we have seen him play, or have we? I don't know, but it's great. Watch it. It's fun. I'll look forward to seeing what Tom has to say about it. Anyway, I think that's all the ones that we watched together. So, all right. As for me, it has been quite a week. I have had a sciatic nerve pinch on my left side. Came out of pretty much nowhere. I literally just stood up and walked to the bed, walked back, sat back down, and I was feeling something going on. And by the next time I got up, I could not barely walk. And it's crap. I have been in bed for pretty much 4 days. Today is the first day that I've really sat in my chair for more than like an hour or so. Um, and yeah, luckily I had a doctor's appointment scheduled and I didn't have to go in because my poor doctor, my poor extremely attractive doctor, yeah, and gay, he broke his ankle. So actually today he's in surgery. I should give him a chub hug. So yeah. Anyway, but he was able to do a phone appointment with me anyway, and you should know that for the most part, I'm actually pretty healthy. Yay! Um, but he did give me some muscle relaxers for my back, and so I have been on medication and ibuprofen and whatever I can take that I, can to just make me not suffer. Um, so there
By
we
the way, he's never been in Glee.
No, I thought
That's
you
what you
were
said.
talking about
No,
Darren
you
Criss.
said you said the guy from Glee. He was in Looking. He was in Glee. He's
No,
yes, you did.
no, I said looking afterward. When you said the
And,
guy who he usually uses that was in something or other, and
well, the reason I said you said Glee, and then that's when I went off
right, I
Evan
thought you were talking about
Peters,
Darren
and I went to
Criss.
Jonathan Groff,
Ah,
who
and yeah,
was in
who
Glee,
was in Glee? Yes,
who was in Looking.
yes, he
Okay,
was.
so you
I
you
didn't say you weren't correct. I just said you weren't right.
take another pill.
All right. Anyway, so the back issues have fucking sucked, and I do not wish them on any of you. So there we go. Let's see. And then today, this morning, I got up thinking I was gonna watch all the last episodes of stuff that I wanted to, but instead, mom had some stuff going on with some medical issues. I won't go into it because it is a little, sketchy.
HIPAA, HIPAA.
Yeah, exactly. And but anyway, it turned her doctor told her to go to the emergency room right away and get checked out and scanned and everything. So we had to arrange all of that and got her there. And thankfully, she did not have to wait too long, and they were able to get a hold of her original doctor that had done the work on her that needed to be checked out. And they said that she's good and that it's okay and sent her home. So now she is home. And I was very, very thankful about that because I was like, I cannot do another, 28 days without mama around. And I'll tell you, she has been a huge, huge help when I was going through my back stuff. Because usually I'm the one, taking care of her, and she was quite helpful. I was able to be part of an article where I for the and they did a live Zoom cast for the Latin Latina Coalition, Equality California, and the Los Angeles LGBTQ Center, who hosted the first California U.S. Senate Candidate Forum on LGBTQ plus issues. And that was on Saturday, and I was able to tune in and then get an article to the paper that I write for about that forum this morning. Anyway, so that was cool. And you know what? I think they're all good. Adam Schiff was there, Katie Porter, and I'm not really familiar with the third one who was there.
Steve
But
Garvey?
huh?
Steve Garvey?
No, he's not running for that era. Oh, wait a minute, wait. I do have it up. There you go. Oh, Representative Barbara Lee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's
and
just
she was pretty.
just the Democrats.
Yes, yeah, and they were all great. I like Katie Porter a little bit more than the others, but all three of them have done really great things for our community. So anyway, that was interesting to be able to attend. Um, so I did mention that I had a bit of a sugar week, and so I remember when we ordered British candy bars and did kind of a taste test
Yeah.
before.
Well, I
Okay.
saw you
I
put a box on Facebook too.
oh I
That
if I did I don't remember. Oh yeah, on the answer to Stephen Scotland. Yep. Anyway, so I got it, and because I wanted to, I remember liking them, so I wanted to try them again. They were on super sale, and I got a few of them, and I tasted a little bit of each one of them, and there was only two that I really liked, and the rest, I don't know. I don't know if their chocolate is cheapened like ours has been, or whether my tastes have just changed because I don't really care for that much sugar anymore, or what it was, but I did not care for it, and I would not reorder it. So it was just odd because the last time when we did it, I remember really liking it. So just saying. Okay, moving on. Hey, I've been watching this show on YouTube called Beard Meets Food. Have you heard of it?
yeah.
Okay, so for those that haven't, it is a British guy who has a great big long beard, and he basically travels around the world to places that have food challenges where you have like one of them. I don't know how the hell he did it. My goodness, it was like a great big burger sandwich thing, and the it had three pizzas on it. Like the buns were just literally three pizzas. It was crazy, but he did it. I've seen him eat up to 10 pounds of food and just amazing. And while I love
Does he
the
hide it in his beard?
actually, that's one of the things that he does is he is very, very careful about having napkins to constantly clean because it bothers some people. And like if he chugs something like a glass or a bottle of Coke or something like that to help, um, if it has any food or anything else on it, he will like move it out of the camera sight because he's like, I know it bugs some people. So that's actually pretty cool because you don't have to look at like nasty stuff. Although the nastiest that he gets is that he'll like stub stuff. He just scoops up bits of cheese and goo and stuff with his fingers and eats it. But which of us doesn't? I mean, come on. Anyway, I recommend that if you just like to eat seafood challenges and see really neat things, and he's a really fun person. So, all right, Chippendales. I am one episode away from the rest. I had watched 2 episodes in the beginning and said, "Oh, that's pretty good," but never gone back to it. It's a good show. I recommend it if you want to know the history of Chippendales, but it's also a bummer show. And I watch it and I'm like, oh. So the cast is great for what they're doing, but I don't like any of the characters. Obviously, they're real people, so there you go. That even makes it worse. But Chippendales is an I will agree with you on not caring for these strippers because I don't like their hair. Isn't that silly?
Yeah.
Okay. So I went back and watched Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Oh,
Really
that's
fun.
shoulder.
Soldier.
Yeah, spell
I
check.
know it's spelled bad, but you know what? I was on pills.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, that's going to be your excuse for a while, isn't it?
yes. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was fun. I forgot just actually how fun that was and how good Chris Evans was. So yay. Very neat. I then watched The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies, and once again, just a fun film. It's one of those films that you just eat popcorn and say, "That's cool." Yeah.
Really? Is that what you do?
When you're on pills.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgot.
Oh, I guess, well, that's kind of it. I thought I watched more, but
Probably did, but you were on pills.
that's true.
Wait, what are the
You know
pills?
what needs to be on pills? Studio dogs.
What kind of pills were they?
Um,
Norco?
please, they don't
I
give
can,
that for anybody anymore.
I got Norco when I got my surgery.
Well, that's
Tens.
good. Oh, those are good.
Yeah.
By the time I get up, they'll stop. This was Baclofen. Baclofen. Okay.
Really? It's back in the title?
BAC.
Okay.
Baclofen. Oh yeah, I can see that's a good reference there. Um, anyway, I was very thankful to have them, even though I don't really like taking pills, but I was ready to take whatever the fuck they gave me at that point. Uh,
Did I tell you I took Viagra last week and every time I had to go to the bathroom at night, I woke up with a heart on?
no. Now it did go down at some point, right?
Well, after I peed.
Okay, well, no, that's good.
Got
I
hard.
just, yeah.
And it got hard earlier, but
Yeah.
then, but every time during the night that I woke up and went, I got to pee. And I was like, oh, why am I hard? Okay. So then I go pee and I come back and it'd be fine. And then
Yeah.
hour later, why am I hard? Oh, I got to pee.
Did
Went
it
on, it was 4 or 5 times that night.
wow. Did it make you feel more, like, haha, did it put a spring in your step?
No, no, no. It was
Did
not
it put a spray in your bathroom?
no, I sat down because I can't pee hard and be standing unless I plan on spraying like the shelf over the toilet.
Was it a movie where somebody like was hard while they were and they had to like lay across the
No, that was a joke. Well, I remember. Well, that might have been in a movie, but I know there's some memes about that. That
Okay.
do you lie down to pee? I think it was one of the things.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into advice. This is a very special letter. My family grew up poor, so poor there were Christmases where the presents we had they were hand-me-downs from our church groups. Uh-huh. All of us, let me get into the mood here. All of us had grown up to live comfortable lives financially, but one of my sisters and her husband are very wealthy. They recently decided to go to India for 2 weeks and for a event that they swore they had to be there for. They spent months planning for their trip. Then shortly before the trip, they asked me to watch their kids at their house for those 2 weeks. They didn't ask any of our siblings because they all have families, but because I'm single and because I'm gay, I have no children. They think I have all the time in the world to watch their teenagers. After several weeks of badgering and my sister breaking down into tears, I agreed to watch them on the 2 weeks. Since I would not commit to the weekdays, they badgered our 70-year-old mother to do it. School groups, sports events, tutors, church youth events. It was ridiculous. And then my mother called me one day in a panic because my sister only left us $100 for the entire 2 weeks. And they had just eaten out at a special restaurant they had to go to because the children have food allergies. And the kids had ordered $16 desserts while my mother had used the bathroom. We were having to pay for everything, including the gas to run them around all over every day. I am so angry with my sister. I haven't even spoken to her since she's gotten back for fear that I'll tell her what a selfish, spoiled brat she's become. I need advice of how to tell her this in a constructive way, and also on why she would leave only $100 and expect us to pick up the rest of the bill, which she hasn't even thanked us for. Signed, Bitter and Branson.
Well, first of all, if you're gay, what are you doing in Branson? Branson hates fags.
I think that was just a code name.
Oh, okay. Um, well, anyway, well, what you do is you tell her, um, your fucking kids ate more than $100 worth of stuff. So this is how much you owe us, mom and I. And
Uh,
by the way, don't ever ask me to do this again. I'm not driving your spoiled, rotten little brats around and taking them to special restaurants because they can't eat anything. Fuck that. You know what? Hire a nanny for 2 weeks next time and leave mom and I out of this. That's what I would tell her. And I wouldn't worry about her being a selfish little cunt. I'd tell her she's a selfish little cunt.
oh my.
I would. This is ridiculous.
Uh, well, yeah, I think it is ridiculous. And I think too that the whole, leaving only $100 for 2 weeks and just expecting that that the other people will pick it up.
Oh, I
It,
know, but
it's
taking them to
indicative
sports
of
events and to school and to
uh
church, fuck that. I
yeah,
mean, it's only 2 weeks worth of it, but that's every single day you got to drive these kids somewhere.
yeah. Um,
Bullshit.
but I think it's indicative of people who are wealthy that they just have no fucking concept of anybody else's finances.
See, I don't think that's true. I mean, I think wealthy people would say, you know, um, yeah, here's this. They wouldn't leave $100 for what is it? How many kids? Two, three,
I think.
three kids, and you're leaving them two. I mean, that's less than $10 a day to feed your children,
Right.
and
But
to
I'm
drive your
assuming they
children.
probably had stuff at the house for them to eat. Why didn't they just eat there?
Don't know, and
Yeah.
I nobody has 2 weeks worth of food sitting around to eat.
Oh, they don't. Well, see, that's what happens when that's a poor person's perspective.
No, no. I mean, I mean, I have food in the house, but I usually don't. It is a poor person. If they're poor,
Hmm.
I mean, even if they're rich, they're not going to have 2 weeks worth of food in the refrigerator
Right.
unless you've got somebody going out and buying your food for you, because most of the time you don't get your proteins. You get them for the week. You get your produce for the week. You don't. Because lettuce is going to go bad in a week a lot of times.
Yeah.
Your other meats have to be used right away unless you're freezing them.
Right.
So it just and why should you be making food for these fucking teenagers that should know how to make their own food. Ugh.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, so that is yeah, very interesting thing to happen there. I don't have any real answers except for don't tell her that she's a horrible person in a mean way. Just wait.
Why? Why?
I
Obviously not
I
going to
feel like
listen.
they should salvage their relationship.
Oh, but so, and she'll do this again. And what were they doing in India for 2 weeks? Some Swami thing, some bullshit thing where they're watching a plant, that only blooms every 100 years, kind of bullshit. Fuck you. Take the kids next time.
Who wants kids along in a getaway?
Who wants kids anyway? That's the question.
Uh, no.
So,
Miss Bacon, she liked having kids. She loves her children.
okay. And I'm happy for her.
So, well, that was a very interesting question, and we hope that your advice gets some get something out of it.
Yeah, tell that cunt. She said,
Oh,
I don't, I would be so angry at
you
this.
are apparently. So, all right. Well, hey, Chubbs, Timothy writes in and says, "Can you tell us a funny story about the weirdest place that you've ever used the bathroom?"
Weird. Um, I don't know if it's particularly weird, but on my last trip to San Diego, we ended up going to 4 different Costco's, and every time I walked in the Costco, I had to take a shit.
Okay.
I don't know why. Even if and the funny thing was we went to Costco the first day that we were there, and then we went to Costco. Then the second couple days later, we went looking for the Costco, and we ended up at the business center. But the business center doesn't have alcohol, so that was out. So, but I had to take a shit, so I took a shit there. And then we go to another Costco, and I had to take another shit right away. It was weird. I don't know. Maybe it was the walking. I was doing a lot of walking, so maybe that's what was pushing it through. But yeah, it was gross.
And and apparently I tell boring stories.
You think that's boring?
Well, not boring actually. I think that's odd. It might be maybe it's something that they're pumping through the air. Maybe
Uh,
there's something in Costco that they put and they're like when you walk in, it hits you and it makes your bowels release.
So where's your most weird place that you've ever used a bathroom?
I can't think of weird really, but I do remember when I was about 12 and I had to hike. We were living in a camper in a park, and I had to take this long walk up to where the bus was to go to school. And I got almost all the way up to where the bus was, and there's a big field with really tall grass and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, it just hit me, and I was like, I am gonna shit myself. And so I ran into the field and I took care of it. And well, wouldn't you know, I didn't really have anything to clean up with except the paper that my homework was done on. So, well, there was no homework turned in that day. Um, and that's the best I could think of. Thankfully, I haven't had to, do other things like that.
So what you're saying that if we're somewhere up in Northern California on some back road and we see a C minus book report, it's yours with shit on it.
Actually, it never got graded, and it was
And we know what it would have been. So it's
but I'll be happy to take you to the spot if it would make you, excite you. Hey, Chubbs, Timothy, Timothy asks, do you think the world will be a better or worse place in 100 years from now?
worse.
I think it will be better. I think we'll finally, we'll get the environment stuff figured out, and yeah, we'll have wonderful things happen within the next 100 years. Hmm.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to
as
be
long as somebody doesn't win, you know what?
it's going to be more like Blade Runner, where you
Mhm.
don't venture outside of the the big cities because they're too dangerous out there, and we're lacking on water and food, and yeah, it's just horrible.
Oh, that reminds me that I did watch something else. Heather came over for a little bit one evening, and we watched the first two episodes of the old television series Logan's Run, which I had never seen before. And so that was when they venture outside the domes, and apparently every 5 miles there's an entirely new civilization that nobody, and none of them know that the other civilizations exist. It's really interesting. Anyway, but it's a fun show, and man, oh, Gregory Harrison and the other guys that are on there are so beautiful. I was just like, wow, they are pretty men. Anyway, it's fun. Logan's Run. Go check it out. And yeah. All right. What's in your lunchbox? Well, Mr. Moose wrote in and said orange flavor beef, ate half even though I was hungry. Too sticky sweet for me. Oh, well, that's sad. And Tom does not have that in that photo because it just came in. So yeah. Let me get back over here to the ones he does have. Mr. Moose also wrote in and said, eating a coconut curry with chicken. I can eat this every day. I've never had that, but I would try it. That looks really good.
Curry chicken with green beans.
Coconut curry.
Coconut curry. I always use coconut with my curry. So
okay, I don't know the difference except for I make curry chicken, but it's just with like curry powder and stuff. So it's very basic.
Yeah. Do you get a gravy with it or not?
Yes, but I do that through like butter and sour cream. Oh, you know what? I tell a lie because when I originally was doing it, I was doing it with like a can of cream of chicken.
Okay.
And then adding the curry, and it just adds such a good flavor to it. But anyway, all right. Next up, we have not food, but a gin and tonic. Guess I was channeling Big Fatty. This has a lot of lime. I would imagine gin and tonic is not something I think I could really drink because I'm just not a gin person.
Yeah, I don't drink gin.
Yeah. Well, we have a friend that does because he likes it. Okay. Tom wrote in and said, these are my food choices. I don't know where you went for this.
This is a place called Fixin's, which is right near, right in Oak Park.
Yeah.
The first thing is smothered pork chops with fries, and that is candied yams. Now, the reason I went for the candied yams is we've been really heavy into yams, but it didn't sound like it was when it said candy. I didn't think it would be like I assumed it wouldn't be like Thanksgiving candied yams.
Yeah.
And it was tasty. There's a lot of nutmeg and brown sugar in it, but it was overcooked. It was they held the look, they were like in cubes,
Yeah.
and the cubes held their consistency, but when you bit into them, it was like disintegrated inside. And it was
Oh,
fine.
okay.
It was fine, but we tend to like our sweet potatoes and our yams and our turnip stuff a little more on the el dente side.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know,
What
I just
what
want a little bite to it.
what are the things on the pork chops?
Oh, those are pickled onions,
Okay, that's what I thought they were.
and
Um,
they're fine. They're just, I mean, it's a simple pickling with some red onions.
yeah, I wouldn't put them on my smothered pork chops, but that's personal taste, of
Don't
course.
worry, they weren't on there when I started eating.
Okay.
And the second one is a hot chicken sandwich,
Hmm.
and
That looks good.
it was it looked really good. It was Sean's. It was covered in like some sort of creamy mayo over the top and then hot sauce over that. So
Hmm.
he said it was really good. So it was totally, you can see it was so messy, it was ridiculous. But when you got these fries, which by the way are fantastic.
I was gonna say they look great.
And it's funny because I get two sides and it's like I always get the fries and then I have to figure out what my second one is. I'm almost ready to go for fries, but I think that's too fat. Uh, but yeah, it's an excellent place. We had gone to another uh place like this that somebody had suggested, and it wasn't that good for me. The fries were terrible. I had fried chicken, and they gave me three big chicken wings, which were fine. The cornbread was and the fries were not good. Just not good.
A sweet friend brought some. Do I still have it? I don't think I do. I think I took. Oh no, it's here. From. Well, I guess it's Wingstop. You been there?
Yeah, you've been
So
there too.
yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was the same place. Anyway, he went there and they actually brought me back some chicken strips, and the chicken strips were freaking amazing.
Were they? I've never tried them.
The I mean, they were just for me pretty perfect. Maybe they could have been just a little crisper, but I wasn't complaining.
What
But
was what was the seasoning that they did them with?
nothing.
Oh, okay.
It was plain and then ranch dip. Um, and but they got the fries they had were like if they hadn't been seasoned this way, because I swear it was like lemon and vinegar or something. It was just this really odd, bitter fruit citrus taste. But if it hadn't had that, these would have been amazing fries that I would have just been downing by the fistful. But
See, yeah, they're my favorite fries.
so yeah, the fries just did not work for me. And I was
Okay.
sad because they were just amazingly cooked like I
But
would.
you got it delivered back to you, right?
What?
You didn't eat it there.
No, they brought it to me. I wasn't even expecting it. So it was basically like whatever they gave me, they gave me. I have a feeling that they probably ordered the fries for themselves and then went, ew.
No, no, I'll tell you something. I get the fries all the time. They're my favorite fries.
Yeah.
And but you have to eat them there. It's like McDonald's fries. By the time you get McDonald's fries home, they're cold and they don't taste as good.
I can see that, but honestly, the way that they tasted, I don't think I could have I would have liked. I don't think I would have liked them at all.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Where are we at? We are at Golden Rule Services want you to know about an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. PrEP is a medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, visit sacgrs.org and find Tom's other podcast at swannerandjudd.com. Find my books at justkisstheguy.com. Find all of our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild and give us a call at
40869 Chubs.
and we need somebody to give us a call. We do. It's time. All right. Well, thank you so much for sticking with us and enjoying the show and all that. And we appreciate everybody and everybody's time. And Lord be, I am ready for a nap. All right. Love you. We'll catch you next
Love
time.
you. Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.